iOS 17 will scan your messages, photos, airdrops, and FaceTime calls for clothless pictures, and this will inevitably lead to a sure and steady path towards authoritarianism. Fun times. Your iPhone will basically be scanning all the pictures and videos that you receive, and if you receive, naughty pictures from unknown contacts, which Apple considers to be unsolicited, they will get blurred and you'll get a pop-up if you want to see them. Now look, the goal of this feature is quite commendable. Unsolicited of anything is annoying, and in this case it could be quite traumatic. What's up? With this feature, Apple has set the precedent of your device having the ability to scan the pictures and videos from services such as iMessage, FaceTime, AirDrop, and third-party apps like Signal. I understand it's optional and the scanning is done on device, but who's to say that a government would not look at this feature and be like, oh great, Apple, please blur anti-government content, and if people click to view them, send us all of the user data, and if you don't, your phones are now banned from being sold in our country. And what do you think Mr. using child labor to maximize profits is going to do? Speaking of doing, thank you for hitting like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. And we have proof of Apple willing to negotiate on their right to human privacy for market access. Apple released a special version of the iOS 16.1.1 update to Chinese users, removing the ability to receive airdrops from everyone all the time and replaced it with a 10-minute cap. And why, you may ask? Well, anti-government protesters, which fun fact China doesn't like, use peer-to-peer services such as AirDrop and Bluetooth to bypass online censorship. And now the government is working on regulating AirDrop and Bluetooth for quote-unquote security concerns. And what's the bet the Chinese government is going to ask Apple to start scanning for dissenting material and not give the option for them to unblur them. And since Apple needs China for manufacturing, they absolutely would follow through on their demands. Now you may say, well, Apple will do it in China, that country's lost crows, is authoritarian, there are no rights, but never in the United States, the bastion of freedom and democracy. The FBI violates American privacy laws over 250,000 times a year, so I don't think that the American government is too concerned with the rule of law. And I also feel that Apple has already made a secret deal with the FBI. Here's why. A couple of years ago, Apple was thinking of implementing zero-knowledge encryption to the data stored in iCloud. And what this means is that the data is going to be essentially password protected and only the user can read them, not Apple, and technically neither can the government. But eventually they dropped the project because this was right after they refused to unlock the iPhone for the FBI, and they didn't want to quote-unquote poke the bear and make their already frail relationship with this all-powerful agency even worse. But then Apple did release the feature. So what happened? Is the FBI now the champion of privacy and holding themselves accountable and trying to limit their power? Yeah, I don't think so. So why are they now okay with technically being unable to read iCloud data? A, they cracked iCloud encryption, or B, they forced Apple to put in a backdoor under some kind of a threat. Like, I don't know, working with Congress to close up the tax loopholes that Apple uses. And here's the thing, we would have no idea if iOS had a secret backdoor since it's closed source and you can't look at the code. Also, this feature can be applied to third-party apps, so there's no escaping it. Now, I'm sure there's going to be those who say, well, why don't you care about unsolicited pictures? What's wrong with you? Why are you being selfish? What do you have to hide? And what I hate about this kind of, sort of privacy versus security debates is that people from both ends of the spectrum tend to villainize the other side. The pro-security people think that those with privacy concerns don't care about others being harmed, and the privacy people think that the ones with security concerns are like NPCs, because to some people nuance simply doesn't exist, and all the noise generated from this extremist fighting prevents normal people from being put on the spotlight and having a productive conversation, arriving at a relatively good compromise. And given that the only thing that politicians from different political parties seem to agree on is eroding the rights of average people, the pro-surveillance side tends to win. I'm just voicing my concerns of spending thousands of dollars on devices that are turning into snitches. Click subscribe to see more high quality content and find out about iOS 17's privacy features and what happened to sideloading.